Another day, another dollar.
Another day, another stew buck. Um, you like my cool sweatshirt here with
I love
my
it.
stuff coming down the side? Yeah, I got merch, Stu.
Got the
You're not the only
sleeve,
one with merch. Um,
sleeve to match that sleeve tattoo.
yeah, there you go. So yeah, I'm not getting to, you know how stupid it would be to get a domain name tattooed on your body. I mean, that talk about a jinx.
It's
That's
so.
like getting your girlfriend's name tattooed on you or something. It's just the
Yeah.
fast way to I don't know. Totally off topic today,
Yeah.
but we're still in webinar month. Yesterday we did our master class. Next week we're going to be doing our genie hacking session about webinars. And one of the things that is super important for you to understand if you want to make money from webinars, Stu, which I know you do.
Yes.
Last week we talked about your close and your pitch. Um, Hopefully you're close to actually doing a webinar. I really want to do like a webinar with you to your list. Who's like, whoa,
No,
wait
no,
a
I'm,
minute.
I'm not opposed.
But can you imagine how those people would respond to me pitching you to them? I don't know if
That'd be
that'd be
fun.
good or not. Get that
That'd be
guy out of
fun.
here. Um, but here's the thing you need to really understand. You want to make money with a webinar. It's all about signups, show ups, and stay to the end.
Mm,
If you really want to boil it down, how many people you get to sign up, how many people you actually get to show up, and how many people you get to actually stay till the end. Because at the end, let's say you just for grins, okay? Let's say you've got a pitch that has a 20% conversion rate. And the typical show up rate now is about 25%. Only about 1 in 4 people that sign up for a webinar actually show up.
hmm,
Sign up rate, let's say, oh man, let's say you got a really good conversion rate on the front end of your webinar. Let's say it's 50%. Let's say it's amazing. And I haven't looked in a while. I couldn't tell you what the conversion rate is on the last few webinars we've done. I'm a terrible marketer. I should know this. Susan
mm,
knows this. Um, but let's say it's 50% or let's say it's 40%. Okay. And then percentage that stays to the end. When I say stays to the end, I mean stays through to the end of the pitch, to the very, very, very end.
right.
That is typically, let's say it's 50%. Stay all the way to the end. So 100 people show up to your, I should probably zoom in on this, and hopefully I won't screw the math up on this because, well, I did major in history, but let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing here. um so let's say we get 100 people to show up to the opt-in page. That means we've got 40 people. Then out of that 40, how many people actually show up to the webinar? And then, so that's 10. And then stay till the end, 50, that's 5 people. And then if we've got a 20% conversion rate, that means 1 sale. Now, if you're selling something for 10,000 bucks, that's okay. But if you're selling something for $100, and I'm not even going to get into what it costs to get people to show up or get people to actually go to your page. But let's say that we could get real smart and we get this up to 50. Let's say we get this up to 55%. Well, you know what? Let's say we get up to 60%. I've had 60% sign up rates before. Now, let's say we could get the show up rate to 50%. And let's say we could get the stay to the end up to 75%. Let's do the math again. 100 people. Now we got 60 people. Show ups. We got 30. Stay to the end. What's 75% of 30? Like 21, something like that.
Yeah. Close.
Okay. 20.
20, 23, 24. Yeah,
Pissed me
24,
off.
right?
I don't know. Yep, 22 and a half. So we'll call that 23. And then 20% conversion rate, that's 4.5 sales. Okay. So here's the difference though. Same exact amount of traffic. So no matter what we spent on traffic, if we can increase the sign up, which increasing the sign up rate from 40% to 60% is all about copywriting, targeting, copywriting, all that good stuff. Show ups is about giving them a reason to show up. It's about communication, marketing. And then staying to the end is the same thing. So whatever the expense is, when we pay attention to sign up, show ups, and stay to the end, in this example, we increased our sales from 1 to 4.5. That's like a 350% increase with no added expense.
Nice.
So let's say it cost us, I don't want to even get into it, but let's say we were losing money here or just breaking even. Over here, this is where we get profitable. Okay, I'll screw the math up on this. But let's say we're selling a $100 product and it costs us $200 to get 100 people to our page. So we're selling a $100 product, costs us $200 to get people to our page on either one. Here, we spent 200, we made 100, we're minus $100. That sucks.
Yeah.
Here, we spent $200, but we made 450. Minus the 200, now we're ahead $250. What do we need to do?
Let's keep rolling with that.
Let's get as many of these. Let's go spend as many $200 as we can.
Yeah.
That's the game. So how do you, the first phase here is getting more signups. That is the number one thing you want to do, because increasing this, yeah, that's cool. But once you've got it to a level where it's sort of working, the first thing you want to focus on is getting more signups. Yes, it does help for me to say, okay, how could I get more people to stay till the end? But what I want is to get more people to have more people stay till the end. So I would start up here. So how do we do that? What's the number one thing we always say we need to test, Stu?
Your list.
No.
Oh.
The headline.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were talking about.
So we need to test the headline. That is the number one way that you get more people to sign up. You test the headline and you test your bullets. And the best thing to do when you are creating a page for an opt-in is to err on the side of short. Most people put too much information on their opt-in pages and they talk people out of signing up. So my experience over the years is that you want a pre-head, you want a main head, subhead, 4 bullets. You can have a button for people to sign up, some kind of a picture if you want or not. I've seen it work either way, with and without a picture. Then a sign up button, and that's your whole page. Literally, that's your page. Other stuff that you can test on here, if people don't know who you are, then you might have a couple, 3 bullets that are relevant to them about who you are and why they should pay attention to you. But this right here, this headline is the most important part of the entire process.
Yeah.
This is going to dictate how many people actually sign up for your webinar more than any other factor on planet Earth. Not the day of the week, the time of day, the source of the traffic. It's this headline. Does this headline make your avatar want to hit this button and sign up for the webinar? And then the most important part are these 4 bullets, 3 to 4 bullets that explain what you're going to be doing on the webinar. That's it. And what this has to do, though, is start the whole conversation about what's going to happen, the transformation, the ideas or the beliefs that are going to get changed, the process that you're going to take it from hard to easy for them. This promise becomes the through line of the entire thing. So, and any questions on that?
Nope.
Because I'd like to show a couple things if you're interested.
Now I'd like to see some headline testing ideas for sure.
Okay. So one of the things that we released yesterday on our masterclass was the sales webinar Genie. And what this does is it helps you to create everything you need to plan, prepare, and promote a webinar, from the intro to the slides to the close and the stack and everything else. But what it also helps you to do is to plan out what your headlines and your angles and all that stuff is. So this assumes that you have an avatar done. This assumes that you have done your profile, and this assumes that you have an offer. So that's kind of like, if you don't have any of that done yet, then you need to go do that first, because you don't have any business trying to create a webinar if you haven't clearly defined who the avatar is, who you are as it relates to them, and the offer that you're doing.
Very good point.
So it also has a brainstorming function that's pretty cool, that if you don't know something, then you can just put in here, and it actually comes with this set as the default. If you don't know what points you want to cover on the webinar, what did I do there? Whoops. If you don't know, and it'll help you plan out the objections. If you don't know the format, you can even have a thing here that says not sure yet. But if you got to know your avatar, your profile, and your offer. So now we can click build, and this will help us come up with title and subtitle ideas, which the title of the webinar is absolutely critical, because a lot of the time your title and subtitle can end up being the headline for the webinar. So this will help you generate webinar title and subtitle ideas, but not just spitting them out from the standpoint of, hey, here's some potential titles. Remember, we're talking about 3 main frameworks. So We've got the 5 questions framework, we've got the steps framework, and we've got the 3 secrets framework. So it's going to help you brainstorm a bunch of those. So title, 5 questions that expose why your AI copy flops. Are you asking these 5 questions about AI copy? 5 questions that separate profitable ads from trash. 5 questions every entrepreneur must answer before letting AI write their sales copy. That's actually pretty good.
That's really good.
Avoid costly mistakes, a fast checklist to ensure AI boosts conversions, not sabotages them. So now we got 3 secrets format. 3 secrets AI copywriters won't tell you. Jim Edwards reveals the unexpected tweaks that turn generic AI output into sales-driving copy that converts like human written. Not bad. 3 secrets to turn AI prompts into $1 million sales messages. Dude, that's a good one. Now, that might be unbelievable. So I might do a couple things with that. But 3 secrets to outsmart your competition with AI copy. These 3 secrets to stop being an AI programmer and start being a copywriter. 3 secrets that make AI copy feel human and convert. I like that one.
Definitely.
So subtitle, live demo and frameworks from Jim Edwards showing how to inject voice urgency and profit driving structure into AI generated copy. That's a good beginning. So, and then here's the basic steps. Okay. Title, the 4-step AI copy blueprint. 3 simple steps to replace your copywriter with AI safely. The 5-step fast track to automated sales copy. A 6-step system to turn AI into your high converting copy machine. 3 steps to instant high converting ads with AI. I like that one actually. Because anybody who's running ads is going to want to know this. A quick, repeatable formula to create headlines, offers, and calls to action that convert, tested on real campaigns that pulled millions of clicks. Hell yeah, I like that. So watch this. Again, I like that. So I'm going to say, you know what? We're going to use that. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to put that in as my title and my subtitle. And so now I got that. But the next thing I need is the big idea, right? So I did the webinar titles and subtitles. Now I want it to take in, I didn't have to hit rebuild, but I'm just showing I can do this step by step. So I can hit all of these just so you can see, but the webinar core promise hook ideas, this is important because this is going to be the through line all the way through my presentation. So you got to have a promise that is going to make sense for everybody. Now, one of the things that we got to look at is it believable? And is it something that is desirable? Those are the 2 biggest things. It can be desirable, but if it's not believable, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. Turn any idea into high converting ad in 7 minutes, a 3-step AI shortcut that replaces the guesswork. Discover the 3 AI prompts that uncover the exact headline, offer, and CTA your audience will click. Create 3 ad variations with stop the rookie AI mistakes killing conversions. 3 fixes that transform bland bot copy into persuasive ads. I like this one the best. And I can make some changes to it. But we're going to take this up and we're going to put this into single biggest idea of the webinar. Now, I'm going to take out the 3 fixes and just I love that bland bot copy into persuasive ads. Now, next thing, what are we going to cover on the webinar? Well, I think at this point, I don't have to decide yet, but at some point, I'm going to have to decide on which of the 3 frameworks I'm going to be using. So if I come back down here, it had time to cook, and webinar talking points, it's going to give me, this is what I could talk about with the 5 questions or the 3 secrets. The click illusion. More clicks automatically means more sales. Only the right click. Okay, that's good. Silent offer leak, Genie shortcut. Define the conversion trigger, craft a magnetic headline, build the offer, nail the seed. This actually feels more like what I want to talk about. So this is going to be the basic steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, right? Because this is the basic thing that I could then be able to change and not change, but be able to pitch my stuff. So I come up here and, what are the points you'll cover on your webinar? I can just paste that in there, and I'll just go with that. Okay. I mean, I'll even just leave in where it says the talking points. And then the last thing it's asking me for is objections, because we talked last week, I think we talked about overcoming objections throughout the presentation itself. So what if it could bake in overcoming objections right up front? And this will go real quick now. I'm going to come back down here, and where it says likely webinar and offer objections, I'm going to have it do that wish. And then it'll say, before you move beyond these, we have to choose the type of webinar that we're gonna do. So what is this doing? This is coming up with the likely objections that somebody's going to have to what I'm covering in my presentation, and what my offer is, and just who they are as an avatar, what their main objections are going to be. And again, most people never take this into consideration until like after they've done their pitch. So this goes over the main objections that they have, and then it'll give you a copy and paste section down here. I'm just going to grab this and throw it back up here at the top into the objections section. And just neaten it up a little bit. But you can see that these look like the kind of objections that people would have. It sounds like it'll fix everything, but it's hype. Okay. So now we know we're going to be doing the basic steps format. And watch this. Since I've defined all this stuff, I can come down here, and we showed this on the webinar. I'm not going to, but it's going to create your intro slides. It'll create your training slides. It'll create your transition and your offer stack slides, and it'll create your close, objections, and FAQ slides. So everything you need is baked into this whole thing. But the thing I want to show you is the landing page copy, because now that we've got all that stuff, this is where coming up with the headline, this is where coming up with the bullets, this is where coming up with the with a compelling landing page is probably the most important part of this entire thing. Because you can have the best product in the world, the best pitch in the world, the best presentation in the world, but if your opt-in page sucks and nobody signs up, you're screwed. So, and the other thing that we can do up here is we can, under the sales, under the writing style, I've got new styles that are much more effective than the ones we were using before. So we got everything from authority to psychology to sensational. And I guess I shouldn't have hit the build button again. We'll let it rebuild it. But creating landing page copy now based on everything's being taken into consideration. Your webinar topic, the title, the subheadline, the objections, the stuff that you know you're going to be covering, your avatar, your offer, everything is being taken into consideration here in order to come up with your landing page copy that then becomes the through line all the way through your presentation and your pitch and all that good stuff. So attention, entrepreneurial professionals, this is your fast lane to explosive profits, total market domination. Explode your profits with instant professional level sales messages, ads, and content. Using AI to crush bland bot copy and turn it into persuasive, profit-driven ads. Presented by Jim Edwards. Here's what you'll get. So I may or may not leave that up here or the Jim Edwards thing, but I'll show you how to stop the rookie mistakes, killing your conversions and fixes that transform bland bot copy into persuasive ads. What you'll get, expose the one promise that makes browsers convert into buyers instantly, write one-line headline magnets that pre-sell and force clicks, construct an offer spine that obliterates doubt and screams value. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. Turn vague interest into instant action. Lock AI to short, repeatable prompt that copies your voice. I don't like that. I'd probably pull that out. You don't need more tools. You need the right words, the right structure, and a repeatable AI prompt that performs. Join me and watch your ads. Stop wasting money and start raking in real revenue. That's pretty good. So anyway, that's a way
That's
that
cool.
this is like the holistic approach to the whole thing. If you don't have that, then you're basically just throwing darts against the wall. So anyway, that's a quick little demo of understanding this part right here. If this page sucks, if this page doesn't convert, and the cool thing is that because we have this, let me show you one other thing because this makes a difference. And what if you're like, man, I just don't know about this. You're doing your testing. Okay, well, we can download this and grab we've got our landing page here. Okay, so we got our landing page copy this way. So we can come up here and we can say, okay, let me do something like, you choose one, Stu.
Let's see what conversational is.
Okay, so we hit that, and I'll generate it. Probably take a couple minutes. You're like, why is it taking so long? You're like, if you knew what was going on behind the scenes, you'd be like, I can't believe it's happening that fast. So, but being able to do that split test, to be able to come up with this version, we talked last week about if you could just increase the number of signups, even if anything else stayed the same, you're going to make more money. Well, the way to increase signups is to do A/B split testing of your opt-in pages, especially if you're just starting out. And if you're able to do that quickly, instead of having to spend hours coming up with the first one, where everybody said, man, it took me a couple, 3 hours to come up with the first one. I'm glad that's over. I'm not doing that again to come up with another one. But explode your profits with instant pro level sales messages and ads. Create high converting ads in minutes using a simple 3-step AI system. Join me and learn how to stop the rookie AI mistakes, killing conversions, turn bland bot copy into persuasive profit. Find the single promise that turns clicks into paying customers. Craft one-line headline magnets that pre-sell and pull ideal buyers. Build an offer spine that makes outcomes believable and irresistible. Create a frictionless CTA and flow. So they're similar bullets, but they're worded differently. So I can download that And rather than me trying to figure out how to, how to have that, or how to figure that on my own, that's a pretty dang good split test.
Yeah.
And so that's going to save you a ton of time. And again, it's all about the signups. And once you get in the signups, then you worry about the show ups. Then once you get the show ups, then you worry about getting the people to stick till the end. That's the key to this whole thing. But it comes down to that big promise. So there you go.
I
Kind
like
of a
that,
review
Jim.
if you were with us on the master class yesterday. But
I will say this. It is a sticking point of mine, this whole process. So I'm going to start playing around with this like I do, right? And I'm going to try, because usually here's what I do. I do 2 of these a week. I call them live Q&A sessions. I don't necessarily call them webinars, but I could. I pitch books while I'm going throughout. Like if someone says, "Hey, how can I get better at the PST?" Well, there's something right here. Um, so it is a marketing tool of mine. I'm going to try, instead of just say, "Hey, I do live Q&As 9 a.m. Show up."
right.
Right? Instead of just saying that, I'm going to go through this whole process and test it out, and just, post a few times, send it to my list, and just see what the difference is.
See how many people actually show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I tend to not change the time. It's just same time, same channel,
Right.
just show up, and, if you miss it, you can watch it on the, YouTube channel. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited about this one, Jim. Nice work.
I think thanks. I think one of the other things is you don't want to replace
Mm.
everything you're doing with these, because you don't want everybody to think, oh, everything Stu does is just a pitch. But if
Mm.
once a month you did a full on something for a higher ticket thing, like
Right.
if I were you, I would come up with a webinar to sell your package deal for the Never Quit Mindset coaching and that bundle thing.
Yep.
I would focus on that and getting people and doing that.
Yeah.
And once you've done it a few times, and it works, then maybe you could evergreen it and start running a little ad, boosting some posts, getting people to it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it with something that's more than just a $50 product. Doing a
Oh,
webinar
sure.
to sell a $50 product isn't necessarily the best thing to do. It's
Right.
not but there you go.
But
I would
it
encourage you to
is,
really do it.
yeah, it is a format that I'm very comfortable with. So I can make it look like what I always do:
Right.
coach and answer questions.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's cool,
Especially
Jim.
especially if you use the 5 questions format.
Yep,
5
absolutely.
questions every buds candidate needs to answer before you ever set foot in Coronado. I
Yeah,
mean, that right there, that would get a
yeah,
certain people to show up. 5 questions every aging athlete needs to ask if you want to live beyond 60. If
yeah,
if you don't want to be stiff, old, and have joints that don't work.
yeah,
Um, that kind of a thing as well. That's about transformation. So maybe it's not 3 secrets, maybe it's 5 questions, especially if you're doing the Q&A stuff.
yeah.
And that would
It's
be a
perfect.
real slight shift
No, I love it.
there.
Yeah, exactly. And
You know,
it's a logical shift.
right,
Like people who show up every week will say, "Oh yeah, the same old thing he always does." Right?
right. But
Um,
holy crap, I want to whip out my credit card or make
yeah.
people,
Suddenly, I want to buy.
right.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's what we want. So cool. Well, for those of you who are in CopyandContent.ai already at the elite level, you got the masterclass yesterday, demoed this. Encourage you to get in and play with it. If you're not a member, you should be. Head on over to CopyandContent.ai and join. And Stu, if they want to get in shape, where should they go?
StuSmithFitness.com.
.com. Cool.
Mm.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.